With that, we're gonna go ahead and dive into DGrazian versus the Devil himself. These are two players that are in my group. I've played both of them. Both of them are pretty good. Very surprised of how well Devil did against myself, but I was very, very rusty. I'm not even gonna lie, but you know, he did very well in that match, and I'm excited to see how this one goes because I do think that like my group is sneaky. It's like kind of one of those like sneaky danger noodle groups, and you know, the Devil certainly held his own for sure, and I'm very excited to see what he's gonna do against DGrazian. So let's go ahead and dive into game one. All right, so the Devil himself surprisingly rocking the green on the east side. Meanwhile, DGrazian over out west will be rocking the red. So a little bit swapped here as we go ahead and change the colors. Boom, boom, boom. So going into the opening here, in the opening matchup, we are going to see a very interesting comp for the Devil, just saying, I'm gonna go heavily defensive and really try and take up as much of the map as possible with barbed wire, MGs, balloons, and artillery with just owls and lizards. So that is going to be interesting. That's a fun one. Meanwhile, DGrazian, standard comp that he has been using throughout this tournament with the Wolf, Mass Tier 2, and Squirrel. So very passive, defensive heavy comp versus an aggressive, high damage comp. This is the definition of exact opposites here. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out. And with the placement of the map here, you gotta kind of give it to the Devil a little bit here, because the fact that he has he can literally cut off a good half of this map with depending on how he sets things up, as he is gonna go heavy on the lizards. I don't see the third lizard warrior anywhere. It's probably back there somewhere. Meanwhile, for DGrazian, he's gonna go ahead and open up with 2 squirrels, as well as getting into his second mill, and we are going to see a second mill over for the Devil as well. So both guys are just really going hefty in the beginning, and the commander goes down for the Devil. So unfortunately, we are going to see DGrazian invest into some cams as well as he gets his stuff started. Want to see if it's invested and what happens. So right now we're going to see a possible attack here as the lizards being able to take advantage of it, but oh no, Devil, go back. You can totally take that out right now. You totally can. Yep, there it is. So mill going down, and that's probably as much as he can do. So right now the Devil's doing a really good job tiptoeing around in this one, kind of making sure to keep DGrazian on his toes. And so far, the Devil doing a fairly good job trying to keep things going on his end, but now DGrazian gonna have to rebuild. He is going to have a bit of an army advantage with the cams coming into play, and with how squishy the lizards are, I don't know if it's gonna go as well this time. As actually no, he's gonna have the advantage here as he does very well, but again, the cam coming in to save the day, so not a lot of damage, even trade out for both sides. And that's kind of what you expected here, and I would imagine that he's going to start defending at this point. Said you hopefully the fixed pack this match may or may not be decent as well. It has the same problem. Okay, cool. That's good to know. So if that is the case, then we can just revert to the other one. But so far so good. Nothing crazy that I've noticed that when it comes to any kind of desyncing. So okay, okay, we're seeing some artillery getting bought here over for the Devil. Actually, this is a very good play, because if he actually just being around in that area, it will pretty much trigger that thing right here. But the cams coming in to go ahead and try and destroy this, and it's not gonna go down, but the cleanup from the squirrels are gonna come in, and that's could be enough. No, so the artillery stays up, the MG goes down, but DGrazian is not going to give up without a fight. Wants to take out that artillery so badly, but it's not working at the moment. As, again, these two are kind of getting into it. And so far, the artillery doing some pretty good damage, and now the mill finally goes down. That was a great placement there for that artillery. And now it kind of puts DGrazian in a very tough spot. Ends up losing a lot of this. And right now, the devil can just go ahead and clean things up from here. And that is going to be the case. So, we will have the devil getting the victory here as he is up 1-0. So, I haven't seen any issues with that game, really. So, I think so far so good. So, let's go ahead and dive into game number 2. All right, so the devil himself up 1 against DGrazian as he's going to be rocking up in the far north. Meanwhile, DGrazian trying to get on the board over on the east side, rocking the red. Now, looking at the composition, we do see a major change up with the devil, deciding to completely mix things up with a Wadger composition with 2 tier 3s, as well as the squirrel with the snake and the skunk. So this is definitely a more scrappy, I'm gonna drag it out type of composition with the devil. Meanwhile, for DGrazian, once again sticking to what he knows best with the wolf comp that he comes to know and love. So it's interesting to see what happens between both of these players and how it's going to be diving into. When it comes to this map is relatively small from what it looks like. Basically, this area right here is going to be negated because I don't think anyone, well, outside of the snakes on both sides, there really isn't any units that can go through that water very easily, comparatively between the two. So a lot of the battles are going to come over here, and with the placement, you would kind of have to give it to the devil for the advantage, because of these 2 mills that are pretty much elongated, can really easily like cut off a little bit right here to get things very calm as he does go into a second one. Meanwhile, DGrazian, his 3rd mill is going to be a little bit more exposed between, well, this one is kind of a pocket because I don't imagine the devil wants to go ahead and go all out and around with his falcons to try and snipe that. So, and there really isn't any other entrance that you can go to try and target it. But meanwhile, DGrazian actually going to go ahead and go heavy on the attack very early, maybe aiming to try and see if he can take out that mill, but the defense is already there for the devil, so he decides to go ahead and retreat and just kind of think of something else. So the devil being able to go ahead and stick with his 2nd mill, and it looks like that DGrazian really wants that mill so badly, so he's going to scout one more time, see what he wants to do from here. Gonna go get some skunks to possibly have it be enough to go against the devil. And right now, we are possibly going to see a tier 3 maybe. Nope, we're going to see some skunks over for the devil. Very interesting placement for those skunks, by the way, as well. Meanwhile, for DGrazian, he's pretty much invested into into a couple of skunks already, trying to get as many squirrels to overwhelm as possible. He does have a slight edge in that regard. We go and look at the army value. DGrazian will have the head. He finally gets into his 2nd one, but he's not that far behind on eco, which is good. So it's a good thing the devil wasn't trying to be too greedy here. But now we're going to see the skunks come into play, trying to force the devil into a very tough spot, as Some of the pre-gas is coming in, and he's going to be forced to go ahead and swing in after this. That mill most likely is going to go down as DGrazian has way too many squirrels available. So that's already 180 food lost on the Devil's end, and that might be game here. So far, it looks like that he's trying to slowly but surely get things down, but he's going to not overstay his welcome and does fall back. Lots of damage done for the Devil, and the Devil has no choice but to respond. Smart tactic, using the water to try and heal up as much of the units as possible. And now we're going to go in for another attack, and it looks like DGrazian is going to end up taking this fight here, as we are tied up now 1 apiece. So far so good with this particular one, as DGrazian does guarantee us a game 4. The first one of today, by the way. Just want to put that out there. So let's go ahead and dive into game number 3. Oh gosh. All right, so the Devil over on the west side in the green. Meanwhile, DGrazian possibly looking to try and take the lead out over on the east side with the red. Looking over to the compositions, it seems like neither side has really changed much on their field. So we're gonna go immediately into what each side has available when it comes to the map. This could be a sneaky one depending on who discovers this first. Having a little ninja base would be pretty cool. But outside of that, I think the advantage would have to go over to DGrazian, because he automatically has not only an easy expansion, but also the campfire to also be added to it, plus a third one that's not too far off. Can easily become a kind of a circle here of mills to be playing around with. Meanwhile, for the Devil, he only really has one to work with, and then maybe the campfire. And outside of that, this one's going to be difficult to get, and you probably have to rely on the ninja base if the Devil discovers it. So it's going to be interesting what happens here, as the Devil's going to have a cam opener this time around, which is interesting, compared to what DGrazian has, which is going to be the two squirrels, excuse me, opener. We are seeing some squirrels as well, and DGrazian is going to automatically see that the cams are going to be built. So that in turn makes him wants to go ahead and build up his second mill, and these two are now having a conversation. I wonder what they're talking about. You know, they'll be talking about like how their weekend has gone. Maybe they're talking about their nails or something. I will say that that's a bit of a concern, not gonna lie, but we'll wait and see what happens. Yeah, it is indeed a weird map. I heard a rumbling. Did something was built? I can't tell. Anyways. So right now we are gonna see a okay, that was a choice, but he does take out that at least one pig and is gonna keep his cam alive, which is good. So, you know, nothing too hard, no foul. Just getting something quick. DGrazian's floating a little bit. I'm assuming that he's gonna go ahead and go after, yeah, he's gonna put down a couple of tier 2s, couple of skunks. Try and build up some more of his economy again after losing that 8th farm. Deciding to go against trying to restack it for now. We are looking like the Devil wants to go ahead and attack one more time. He does have... I'm not sure if this is going to be going well, because even though he does have... The cams are going to be ready, and he doesn't have the numbers to go against the squirrels at the moment. And now we're going to have to go into this fight. And I am not going to like this for the Devil, to be honest with you. He is going to fend off, but he loses a lot of his cams. He will take out a pig. He's looking to possibly take another one out, and he's gonna have to retreat because he does not have the numbers. But it's not looking like to be the case. So he's gonna lose a lot of his units, and DGrazian is open for a counterattack. DGrazian is looking to possibly get there, but decides against it, possibly thinking that he'll have that up his sleeve. The devil did decide to sell one of the scrolls and invest in a badger. Ooh, that's going to be very, very interesting. Though investing in that badger right now, he is going to be a little bit open for a primary attack because DGrazian has the superior number of squirrels, though the cams can even it out a little bit as well with the pigeons. So we're going to see another attack here from the devil, possibly looking at a different angle now. Oh, especially with DGrazian aiming to attack, but ooh, this is gonna be good. Oh boy, that mill might be gone, and it is. That is 240 food already out and about, and he's gonna lose all of his cams. It looks like he loses 2 of the 4 cams. So 240 compared to the 120. That is a pretty big difference. Very good use of the cams in that one. So that is a very big one. But now DGrazian is going to go all in and try and go after this attack. And I would go after that tier 3. But it looks like the devil is able to defend this very, very well. And the devil might take game 2. And right now, the devil is going to go ahead and take out the snakes. And it's just nothing but the scroll and a prayer. And we are going to see a quick tap there from DGrazian as the devil takes game number 2. Oh my goodness. This is, like I said, this guy is new, but he's clearly played a lot of RTS games in the past. For sure. So the devil takes the lead and is in match point. We'll see what happens as he goes ahead and dive into game number 3. Oh, game number 4, excuse me. Yeah, like the devil's good. Like he is super good. As we're going to see him in the green, possibly trying to take this down south while DGrazian over on the east side in the red, trying to take this into a game 5. Like, this dude is really, really good. Like, really, really good. And it really he's got to be a force to reckon with, for sure. Because I would imagine that he has a lot of stuff up his sleeve as he once again changes things up, going for a boar composition this time. With the scroll as well with the Falcon, Cam, and Ferret combo with that boar. Meanwhile, for DGrazian, we are still seeing the standard wolf deck that he likes to bring out for this meta, and we'll see how things goes as we look into the overall map. I would have to say it's a bit of a weird one. I would give it to the devil, considering that he has more to pick up easily. They're just a little out of the way, in my opinion, but it's better to have that than the situation of having like one that is prone to cliff abuse, and then the other two are just all the way on the other side of the map. So it's a bit more awkward for DGrazian, I would say. Ooh, we're gonna see a mole attack. Oh, this is bad. Oh no, that mill's gone. That mill's so gone. Bye, mill. You're nice knowing you. Get out of here. What you think this is? And now he's gonna go after that. Oh, he hesitated. He probably could have gone that Warren if he wanted to, but he's gonna commit, and he's forced to sell. And this might be this cannot be serious. Oh my gosh, that's so much loss in that one. He goes for the quick sell, goes ahead and get out of there. That is what a great opening from the devil. Oh my gosh. Holy, the devil just making everybody panic for that one. Goodness gracious. And now the devil is gonna go ahead and go mass squirrel, gonna go ahead and get into some ferrets as well, opening up for his second mill. Jesus, jeez Louise, that is Oh man, the timing on that mill was just unfortunate. Not being able to see in time that he put down a couple of moles, and that was just some sneaky play from the devil. So now DGrazian's in a little bit of a hole at the moment. Going into the army value, look at that. That's huge. And even though that they're even on the economy, that's going to come into play here as like DGrazian lost so much food from that. Lost, I believe, about 180 after losing like maybe 3 moles, so that's like 60. So that's a pretty big jump. Pushing the greediness just right, for sure. And now we're going to see a couple of ferrets to possibly make some noise. I would be surprised if he decided to go for cliff abuse. He does end up losing the commander a little bit. I honestly, depending on how DGrazian sets up his army, which it looks like that it's not going to be in the best position. He hasn't going to go for an attack, actually. If I were the devil, I would possibly go ahead and set my ferrets up like right here, like on the edge of this little island, and then just come over, go around and just, you know, chill and watch your ferrets do the magic, you know? But obviously that's a bit of a riskier play, but that's just like my thought process. We're gonna see the cam gonna get deleted pretty quickly, and I don't think the squirrel count is going to be enough for the devil to take care of this, so DGrazian might end up taking this right now. Yeah, I think that with the amount of... That mill's basically gone, and there's not really a lot that he can use to defend this, so DGrazian doing a good counter here as he isn't able to take down the mill, but a lot of economy gets lost right there, so... Right now, it does look like that DGrazian still wants to dive into this, but there's a lot of cams right for the devil, and that's going to clean everything up. And now he's going to try and go for a counterattack. Again, there's a lot of squirrels, but having to handle 3 cams now is going to be a little bit more difficult. And now with the devil having all of his squirrels on the ready, I would say that like the devil could have an opportunity to get the counterattack. Yeah, he does. He knows how to use his cams super well. And now the cams once again coming into fray. And though attacking on the higher ground might not be the most feasible, but he is going to go ahead and break through. And that might be more of the tier 1. The devil might end up winning this in 4 if he's able to take this out. Got 1 more cam left, only with 2 health, and it is going to be able to get away. Unless he wants to be greedy. Oh, he really wants to be greedy. Oh, goodness. And the cam finally goes down, and the devil's finally going to retreat, but holy. This really puts DGrazian in a very rough spot. He doesn't really have, like, that 1 cam that he has, well, he's going to have 2 now. The cams are going to be pretty helpful here, all things depending, but it looks like the devil is going to be like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just rely on all of my cams, and that's going to be a choice because there's not a lot of, he is going to end up selling all of his squirrels basically to say, I want to just go mass cam to finish you off. This is so interesting. This is a very scrappy game, and you kind of have to give it the edge to the devil if he's able to go ahead and purchase at least most of his cams, which seems to be the case, because there are still quite the number of squirrels plus a couple of cams on DGrazian's can put up a fight, but it just really depends on how the devil micros his cams. Because if he can just go ahead and take out most of those squirrels and keep at least 2 alive, that could be game. Because, yeah, he decided to go ahead and fully get rid of all of his tier 1. So he's going to fully invest into the cams. And Meanwhile, DGrazian gonna go ahead and... Is he gonna go and... Ooh, okay. So he's gonna go ahead and invest into the snakes. So, very scrappy game. Most of the cams are out. And I think this is overwhelmed. He probably made that decision a little too late to really kind of counter this, because the snakes are not going to get done in time before the attack comes in. And that's going to be it. So, mass cams. Everything is getting deleted. That's going to be GG's. So, the devil ending up taking out DGrazian. As DGrazian is now starving, that's going to be it. So the devil ends up winning this 3-1 and a bit of an upset here. Because he is a newer player, but he's making sure that he's putting a statement saying that, yeah, I can hang with the best of them.